Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Sports Bar here at WTF Nation Radio. I am one half of this thing, the actual King Smith, aka King Smith, aka Flyboy Smitty, aka your resident U.S. Air Force veteran, coming at you live, talking all things sports, news, and other shenanigans that we choose to talk about here. But I don't run this thing by myself. I got my co host, the man behind the fence, the U.S. Army veteran, the New York Yankee hat himself, my main man, Coach. Coach, let the people know something.
King, what do you hear? What do you say? Before we begin, I need to start this show out on a negative note.
Oh,
Matt,
man.
you in that fucking chat, get the fuck out of our show. Don't ever fucking come back to our show. You're fucking banned, you piece of shit.
Oh, let me hit him with the ban button. And
Banned. You dumb
banned.
motherfucker. You're banned.
Why is he banned?
Yeah, yeah, you saw his comment, right?
I did, but I didn't know if it was related to something.
No, it's
Okay.
not. It's him being an arrogant motherfucker and an ignorant bastard.
All right.
You're banned. You're
We're
out of
starting
here.
out banning people off the rip.
Yeah.
All
Not
right.
the way I wanted to start the show. I wanted to start the show with this one as kind of an in memoriam, but that's all right. I'll go ahead and I'll continue that. So, ladies and gentlemen, as you can see on the screen, as well as also what was our thumbnail for our video today, you are looking at what is what is affectionately known as the Bubba Bus. Okay.
It stands out.
Yes, it stands out. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you have ever been to Charlotte Motor Speedway for any of the NASCAR races, beginning in the 2000s, going all the way up until the present day, you've been in the infield, you more than likely have seen the Bubba Bus. And for all that have served over at Fort Bragg and have been there for the 600 for all of their presentations, you have definitely stopped and seen Bubba and Diana Hammond and their bus while they were, at the races. Now, their kids have now taken on that one as they gotten a little bit older in age. And as you can see up there on the top, it says in memory of Bubba Hammond. He passed away in around 2010, 2011, somewhere in that time that I didn't go to the race, but he passed away. And then his kids redid the entire bus and his wife redid the entire bus for and did the dedication, but it was also due for a little bit of an update. Now, the cool thing about this bus is that they would invite every military member to come onto the bus and sign the inside of the bus. And the inside of the bus is decked out, for an entire NASCAR race. And you can look up there on the top, but there was plenty of cold beer for every single service member that went out there. And you guys got drunk over there at the Bubba Bus. And this is also, I will give out my story of the 2006 Coca-Cola 600, my first ever NASCAR race. My NCO, Benny Smith, told me about to go visit the Bubba Bus. And he said, you'll know who it is because it's a big ass red, white, and blue bus. Well, I saw the Bubba Bus, and then I go in the Bubba Bus to do my obligatory signing, and I see a picture of my NCO and Diana and Bubba Hammond all on the bus with, Benny's family, being out there, and they all enjoyed this. And every year that I went to the 600, I always stopped by the Bubba Bus. The last time I was at the 600 was in 2018. I was driving around the carts, and it was kind of fun to do that when I was driving the carts for charity and bringing people around, but I always stopped at the Bubba Bus. And I received word yesterday that my dear friend Diana Hammond passed away.
Oh, no.
And it was a small group of people that I still am in contact with that remember Diana and remember Bubba and remember the bus. Nobody knew them by name, but I did. Diana was when I got on Facebook and everybody's like, hey, friend request this. Well, Benny told me to friend request Diana. And I'm like, who is this? And she's like, and Benny told me it's the Bubba Bus. And I friend requested her. And Diana did not miss a single one of my birthdays. When I won the car at the 2015 Coca-Cola 600, Diana was one of the first people to congratulate me. Sadly, my friend Benny Smith, he passed away in COVID in 2021. And, that was kind of like my connection to them and everything. And I still stayed in touch with Diana. And, even though I haven't been out to Charlotte for a race, I still saw them over at the races every year. I know that they were there because I saw it on her page and saw that her kids were still up there. But, it was kind of tough for me yesterday just to say, here's my wife and me, and we're the only two people that I could talk to about this one and recognize her. But one of the things that hopefully some of y'all that are watching tonight, or some of you that are watching saw the thumbnail and saw the Bubba Bus up on here and remember seeing the Bubba Bus at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Keep Diana, his family, in your prayers for right now. And I wanted to do a little bit of a dedication for tonight's show in memory of Diana Hammond and all of the hospitality, the love, and the support that she gave to all the service members. 24/7, 365, but most importantly, or most prominently, at the Charlotte, used to be Lowe's Motor Speedway, during the NASCAR races, and for all the hospitality that her and her family showed all of the service members and all of the veterans and everybody that knew them. And thank you all so much. And Diana, you will be missed, and I will see you on the other side. And this show is dedicated in your memory.
All right. Was her name spelled with one N or two N's?
Diana.
Diana. All right. So I'm going to put this up on the screen, and we're going to take a moment of silence for Diana Hammond. May she rest in peace. All right. Well, Coach, we are back. We are going to keep actually the subject around racing in NASCAR. We've got several news stories here today, and we're going to come out the bat swinging here with our first news story.
You want to bring that up just because you still don't think LeBron's the greatest of all time.
I mean, look.
Only reason why you're bringing this up.
I'm bringing it up because it is sports and news relevant, and it has people on both sides of the fence. So we had a NASCAR event this past weekend.
Oh, it wasn't just an event. It was the event. It was the Daytona 500.
As a matter of fact,
biggest race in the NASCAR season.
This is your baby. Set this up for us, Coach.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. So the biggest, as I mentioned to you last week, as we were going on with the show, that the Daytona 500, NASCAR's biggest race, was raced on Sunday. And lo and behold, after all of the shenanigans that happened with NASCAR in the off season, and with what was happening with Michael Jordan and NASCAR and suing them, and finally NASCAR making changes for the better and getting rid of some people that guess what finally happened? Well, Michael Jordan's team 2311 and their driver Tyler Reddick won the Daytona 500. In the last lap, there was a crash right behind them. With Chase Elliott and a couple other people, but Tyler Reddick came home as the winner. Now, Tyler Reddick is he is a very up and down NASCAR driver, and I will mention that last year he did not win a race for 2311, and that whole team kind of did slow down last year and suffer, and I think a lot of it had to do with that whole litigation that was going on with the team. But that being said, Tyler Reddick ends up winning the Daytona 500. Tyler Reddick also had a personal situation happening where his son was going through a whole bunch of medical issues and had a whole bunch of medical issues around during the season. And the team 2311 not only gathered around Tyler, but also gathered around his son. So that is kind of like that family thing right there. This is a kid who, his medical issues aside, has gone through a lot over this past year. It affected Tyler out there on the tracks. But, in the glory of everything, Tyler wins and celebrates everything with his family. So there's the setup, King. Go ahead and start tearing it down just because of a freaking video that doesn't look as good, but has a better explanation. Oh, you're muted, buddy.
Thank you. While they're doing said celebration, I'm going to share my screen here, and I want y'all to tell me, just describe what's going on in this video. Just watch it. There's no, actually, you know what? I'm going to have the audio played. So let me just tell me what y'all see. Oh, there is no audio. So you got Michael Jordan in a white hat sitting right there. I'm going to go back, set this up. There's the Racers kid down there sitting with the rest of the team. And I'm going to shut up and I'm not going to narrate anything. I almost didn't want to show this. Because let me just go back. When you take a look at it, just that part right there does not look good. I feel weird pausing it right here.
It does. Yeah, it doesn't. It doesn't.
So, Coach, I mean, is this your GOAT? How can
you defend Let me explain something. And it has been corroborated not only by Tyler Reddick, but by other members of the 2311 team, and especially on the 45 team. Tyler's kid was at the entire celebration parts. He was sprayed with champagne, had ice and all of that other stuff, and confetti moved around him and poured all over him. And apparently he got some ice stuck in the back of his shirt and some confetti in the back of his shirt. All right. Now, as you can see, the kid's soaking wet, drenched in confetti, and got ice in there. So Michael took it upon himself to start getting the ice and the other crap out of his shirt. Now, that being said, it looked like he was fucking playing with his ass the entire time. And yes, it looks a hell of a lot worse than what it is. But I will also mention that this is a kid that Michael knows on a personal level. And I'm not talking about in an Epstein, freaking Penn State in a Penn State kind of manner. What was that mother Sandusky?
Yeah,
he's no Jerry Sandusky, okay? But that does not look good, even if he is doing this. And somebody's saying, well, he's not his kid, he's not doing that. Like I said, this is a kid that entire team rallied behind during his sickness and rallied behind his father during this. MJ was doing that just to appease the kid and get the ice out from underneath his shirt and get whatever the hell else was out there. That camera angle looked really damn terrible and looked like he was playing his ass and trying to frickin' molest him. And of course, because simple-minded people wanted to frickin' tear down anything that they can to anybody, regardless of what happens, took off on this one and started calling frickin' Michael Jordan Jeffrey Epstein.
Michael Jeffrey Epstein Jordan.
Yeah. So let's just be as blunt as we can here. He was fixing the kid's shirt who had ice and confetti down it right there. The kid's drenched in champagne, and Michael was trying to help him out. That camera angle looked like shit. And go figure, everything always with NASCAR ends up in a shitty way because, well, NASCAR has not done itself any favors to be making itself and looking like it's actually going to be taken seriously. And I will also mention that throughout that entire time period that he was freaking suing NASCAR out of there was two sides to it. There is a side because of whom he is that people will not like him. And I will also mention the fact that he also employs one of the most diversive of the drivers in Bubba Wallace. Now, I can go ahead and talk about all of the ignorant white people that say stupid shit on Facebook, but I deleted Facebook for Lent because I'm not going to get into it. And then you see all the other ones on social media, and trust me, there are enough people who bloodlines, bloodlines are pure. Their family tree doesn't fork, and they breathe exclusively out of their mouths. That think that Bubba doesn't know how to drive and only gets his car because he's a DEI hire. Motherfucker, your fat ass wouldn't be able to fit into a car, let alone go fucking 200 miles an hour around the track. The only thing that's going to 200 miles an hour is the blood sugar in your fat fucking veins, you fucking ignorant bastards. So, at that being said, that's also part of the reason why, I don't deal with the intolerant that well. Like that douchebag who, Mr. Old Duet at the beginning that we just banned. That motherfucker. I don't deal with intolerant people like that. And NASCAR is full of intolerant people that will take any swipe at somebody who, no offense, looks like you, King.
Yeah. Now, Tyler Reddick did come out and he has spoken about the incident on Stephen A. Smith's Sirius FM, Sirius satellite radio show. So let's take a listen as to what Tyler said and see if it makes sense. If my computer decides it wants to showcase. Here we go.
Like to say about the media backlash involving Michael Jordan's celebration.
Hey, why does my internet not want to work right? Give myself the buzzer.
Well, it's easy. Well, even the buzzer doesn't want to work.
And I don't even think that y'all can hear the buzzer.
Even the buzzer doesn't want to work. But you know what? It's Stephen A. Smith. Nobody wants to hear his ass.
Yeah, I mean, from my perspective, I've gotten to know Michael and his
or not. All right,
family.
Hold on, here we go.
Very well over the years I've been here with 2311, and I.
Come on.
I don't see what other people see when it comes to this. For me, it's a huge moment. This is the biggest moment of my career. It's a huge moment for my family and for his family. And I just, I put that off to the side and just think about how think about the look on Yvette's face and the whole family and his whole group when they got to Victory Lane too. And just how happy and everybody was celebrating together. So, yeah, that's where I'm at with it.
Okay. So he gave a very direct answer. He didn't skirt around anything. I don't think he said anything that was too PC. He basically said, I don't see what other people saw. I was celebrating. I'm happy for my family and my people and him and the relationships that we have. And I don't see what they saw. But man, it's just, it's one of those things that I'm just going to say in today's climate with the way information can spread, like I am a father myself, and this is going to take a bit of a twisted look. I'm the father of a young college woman. She's now 18. She's a freshman in college. And it's crazy the way that men are viewed in general, right? When something happens. Like, this is off topic, but since it's related to sports, we're going to talk about it here. You can have a teacher do something in the classroom that's a female teacher or a woman teacher. And depending on how hot she is, the narrative gets spun one way. Oh, let her go. Oh, that boy knew what he was doing. It's not that bad, whatever, yada, yada. But if it's a guy teacher doing it to somebody of the opposite sex that's younger, they're instantly labeled predator and all these other words that I can't say on YouTube. And the standard behind that, it's a bad double standard. Now, I knew how it looked, and my daughter would like to have, friends and stuff that would come over and play. And the only ones that really would do that were those that knew me intimately.
Oh, King, you up here, buddy? I don't know what happened to you, man, but don't know if you're still on here. Oh,
yep. The NWO heard me and was like, now let's cut this dude's feed right now,
dude.
So the only ones that were who would be allowed to come over would be those that knew me intimately well. But for the most part, right, I wasn't given that, oh, he's a father that's raising a daughter, so he should be okay. You know what I'm saying? Which my take and how I would look is I wouldn't just let Castle, who's my daughter, she's grown, I can say her name, go over anybody's house without necessarily knowing who the parents were in general. But had I met them at least one time just to kind of gain that, are they criminals or not, just that first impression, type thing. Past that point, I'd be fine. But, given that I'm a black guy with a beard, I mean, there was no way that was happening. Now, and I don't feel any type of way about it personally, because on one hand, I get it, but had that been a somebody of the opposite gender and of a different color, actually, I don't even think that the color matters, just of an opposite gender, I don't think that it looks as bad as it did, whether you're talking about he's getting ice off the kid's back or not. And this wouldn't be a story, even if it was like a famous person of the opposite gender. That's my take on it.
I would have to disagree with you on one condition, and here comes this part. And yeah, we're going to go all the way back to, biology here. A 15-year-old male is more likely stronger than a 31-year-old female. Okay? Can we kind of admit that? Probably runs faster, does things a lot faster. There's why your double standard is, and it's because of the physicality. That's the big thing that happens, is that the physicality portion is why the double standard is out there. Women, not all, are more than likely less or weaker. And I'm not saying this in a bad way, but I'm talking about in a strength manner.
Physiologically
are weaker and are more likely smaller than men. So that's part of the reason why that double standard is out there. And yes, it is a double standard, but I can kind of agree with that double standard. Now, for the women, that I've noticed that there has been a uptick in the number of women that have been charged for doing things with minor students. There are a number of them, and it is increased over the past several years. It's not like it was back when Mary Kay Letourneau first did it in the 90s. Okay. And I will also mention that somebody, I'm going to say this. I knew of someone who was dating a college person, or was in high school, was dating their teacher, then went to college, and then unfortunately passed away while they were in college, and certain things happened. But but like I said, they were still together out of it. That's just something I'm saying, that, like, look, it happens. It was a lot. Nobody really talked about it now, but now when you see it, there is that standard of, oh dear God, we're going to go ahead and handle this one. So I will say that it's being prosecuted a lot more. In the instance of Michael Jordan, man, every person and their mother is looking for any reason to knock MJ off any pedestal he has. And they'll bring it up too. He was a terrible, terrible president at the Washington Wizards. He was a horrible owner of the Charlotte Hornets. Okay. I mean, let's just be as blunt as they are. The Charlotte Hornets sucked underneath his tenure, and they still suck right now. Look, and I'm saying this because I've been to the Spectrum Center. I wouldn't waste $1 watching the fucking Charlotte Hornets play a game over there. Never. But anybody will do anything to try to look at it. And let me be as blunt as I can. Stephen A. Smith would not have interviewed Tyler Reddick if he didn't race for Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan has brought other eyes back onto NASCAR.
Okay.
And I am saying that like as in nobody will give a shit about Chase Elliott, Kyle Larson, etc. Nobody really cares about Austin Dillon, Brad Keselowski, Jimmy Johnson. Nobody really quite cares about any of the other people. But MJ owning a team, MJ having some, I'm going to say a little bit overstated history. Apparently he went to NASCAR races as a kid, and one time as a rookie, he has a picture taken with him and Kyle Petty at a freaking race. And he's friends with Denny Hamlin, who Denny met him over at, the Charlotte Hornets games. Regardless of that. Okay. He has brought other people's eyes onto him, and he's brought the eyes of the media that doesn't watch NASCAR. Okay, there is Stephen A. Smith could not tell you the difference between a steering wheel and a fucking tire. Okay, that's as blunt as it can be. Yet Stephen A. Smith is interviewing Tyler Reddick, and that is because of Michael Jordan. NASCAR, outside of in fact, I'll tell you, if this court case was happening with NASCAR and it didn't involve Michael Jordan, nobody would have ended up reporting it. There's court cases going on in Major League Baseball, the NBA, NHL, NFL, and none of that gets reported. MJ suing NASCAR, it got reported, and it was freaking news for a lot of people. MJ brings out the eyes, but he also brings out the daggers. Every bit that he does has been judged ever since he was a damn ever since he sunk the freaking game-winning shot against Georgetown in the NCAA championship game in 1982. When he turned his name and when he went from Mike to Michael Jordan, all eyes were on him. It wasn't surprise me that this whole thing happened. Do I think it's a double standard? Yes, I did. Oh wow, you got the buzzer running now.
Yes. Okay.
You got the buzzer running. All right. But yeah, look, people are going to try to do anything right there to go ahead and go against MJ. That's all I'll say. Greatness hate. There is a lot of people who hate greatness. And yeah, look, I will be honest with you. I have greatness hate. Alex Rodriguez is one of the
LeBron James.
No, I'm saying LeBron James is the second greatest player of all time. He's not the greatest. He is the second greatest. Alex Rodriguez is one of the greatest baseball players that ever lived during my generation. I hate him because he tested positive for steroids. He was an absolute choke artist, except for 1 year in the freaking postseason with the Yankees. And the only reason why he didn't choke in that one was because he was on steroids and took off the first 2 months of the season after a hip injury. I despise him, but there are plenty of people who will say that he is the greatest baseball player that ever lived. I despise Barry Bonds because he was an arrogant douchebag, and because of, him taking steroids and breaking not only Mark McGwire's record, who once again took steroids, but also surpassing Henry Aaron, who to me was who still is the all-time home run leader. There is such a thing as greatness hate. And greatness hate will follow MJ around by those ignorant enough to try to get a click hit and to freaking try to make a mountain out of a molehill so that they can talk and give their opinions. Like us, like the vast majority of sports media, and like the vast number of people who are on a freaking sports talk show or on the freaking internet where they can't say something to their face, so they'll say it behind a screen.
All right. Coach and I are going to be divided on this one. I don't think that it was appropriate. Do I think that, now let me be clear, do I think that he did anything unwarranted intentionally? No. I do want to be clear about that. But what I have done what he did to remove the ice in the manner that he did it, man, not even like, I'm trying to think, like, if that was my child, would I do it like that? I don't think that I would have. I might have like swiped down and be like, hey, come here, and just, because like I wouldn't have wanted to do something that would have made my kid uncomfortable. But
I get it.
That's my take on it. And the kid's father also came out and addressed it. So we'll leave it at that. Shout out to fellow team member for popping in and saying hello, my fellow sports people. Give you a salute. Appreciate you popping in as well. Let's pause and give a station identification type deal and screen share here that we do have a Discord. And this is what our Discord looks like. Never mind all the other channels that y'all see on the left, because I'm in a lot of different Discord communities.
Man, that ain't sports community. Those are anime freaking hentai porns. Jesus.
In the description and in our chat here is a link to our Discord community. WTF Nation Radio is looking to grow the Discord community and make it really active. So if you would like to join and play games, watch sports stuff with us, shoot the shit, whatever, drop articles or links that you think should be talked about or discussed, feel free to join our Discord community. The link is in the description and in the chat live right now. You never know who you'll see in the background. We've got Nemo on right now, our resident pop culture guy, gamer, social media. He does a lot. He's the host of Saturday Co-ops here at WTF Nation Radio, plays all the games, does all the things around that nature. I see he's on right now with a couple of other people. Sometimes you'll catch me in there. You'll see any of the other people. CQ's pretty active in there, yada, yada. So tap in and let's get active. Now, next up, man, look at that. The timing on that couldn't have been even better. Let's discuss Gina versus Ronda.
Oh, yeah.
Man, I saw the news yesterday. And I'm a lot more excited to watch that fight than I am Tyson versus Merriweather. So, Coach, you saw the announcement.
I did.
They're going to headline Netflix's first MMA event, which will be May the 16th. And I'm excited about it. I'm looking forward to it. There was a trailer that came out for it, and I've got the trailer right here. So let's take a look at this trailer, and y'all tell me what y'all think about this upcoming fight between Ronda and Gina. Let's take a look. Here we go. There's the trailer. Those are the fighters. I'm pretty sure that the undercard on that's going to be amazing. Coach, what are your thoughts?
All right. So a little bit of a background, and I know a lot of people did not, think that women's MMA started and ended with Ronda Rousey or started with Ronda Rousey. Gina Carano came along in MMA, and her last fight was in 2009. This was before UFC had a women's division. I believe she was in Strike Force at that point doing that. But she hasn't fought in 17 years, and obviously we've known her for her movie appearances, some of the training things, as well as, in The Mandalorian, and might as well mention it, her firing from there because of her right-wing views, apparently. Ronda Rousey has not been in there since she lost to Amanda Nunes back in 2016. So it's been like 9 or 10 years from her as well. Another thing that came out was that there is going to be a ton more medical screenings done for both ladies prior to this fight than is normal for a typical UFC fight, where they are going to be getting an echo, not only getting an echocardiogram, but they're also going to be getting like an echo brain scan or something like that.
I just had
And
one
then
of
they're
those.
going to be getting an MRI. An MRA, that's what it is. And it's an angiogram. So there is going to be a lot of things regarding that. Rhonda has also mentioned that, she was prone to concussions when she was in judo in 2008 while she was competing in the Olympics. And she lied about, concussion syndromes while she was in the UFC because they would have stopped her. With all of the things that were happening with that, there's going to be a ton of precautions out of there. Yet, we are talking about a person who hadn't been in the ring in 17 years. And another one who, while in another type of ring and does have that moves with the WWE, has had a MMA fight in almost a decade. And her last physicalities have been, well, the lack of a better term, performance scripted. It'll definitely have a lot more physicality than a Mayweather-Tyson match because Mayweather is the king of blocks and Tyson is going to be too, out of breath and will just be holding and trying to hug everything like he did versus Jake Paul. I am about as excited for this one as I would be for, I don't know, the Oklahoma City Thunder and the Indiana Pacers in the NBA final. That's the level that I have about it. It's like, okay, so they're fighting. Great. If they fought maybe 5 years ago, 6 years ago, during COVID, that would have been fine. I've kind of moved past everything with MMA though. And with the way that MMA has been handled and their presentation and there's no star power. Ronda doesn't have the same star power that she did when she was the champion, nor when she was in the WWE. Gina Carano's star power came after her career, and now it's coming back. I mean, I would rather watch another Jake Paul fight. Honest to God. Because at least I know Jake Paul is at the prime of his career, if we want to call it that. Or, but look, people are going to go ahead and tune in to see it because it's Ronda and because it's Gina Carano. But to me, I really don't have any interest in it. I myself I might not even watch it. I might have to watch it if somebody reminds me that it's on. Okay? That's the best way I can say this. And I will also judge it in this sense. When it came down to a lot of the fights, in like these special ones, the Logan Paul fights, these exhibition matches, all of these other things that we've had, I kind of gauged my interest on it on whether or not my youngest or oldest sons were going to watch this. And my oldest son used to watch, UFC with me. Hell, I remember, like him and I were watching. We used to go to the sports bar up here in the old big sports bar on Fort Bragg. And we used to watch the UFC pay-per-views. I saw Sugar Rashad Evans ended up winning the UFC light heavyweight championship with him. I saw freaking other fights with him. We were watching it for a bit, but then he fell off of it. My youngest son, he's not into boxing, he's not into wrestling, he's not into MMA. He was watching the Logan Paul and the KSI fights, and he was watching those bigger draw fights and the exhibition matches. But with this, he's got no interest in it. And I asked him about it. I said he didn't even know that they were going to be fighting. So in a way, all right, let him fight. Let him fight. I'll watch it if it's on, but I'm basically going to be watching it so that we can talk about it on the show. I'm giving my honest opinion about it.
Since it's on Netflix and I have Netflix, I am going to check it out. Would I have gone out of my way to do some type of pay-per-view thing, even if I like the undercard stuff that was on there or the entertainment factor for who may be performing during this? Is this going to be put on by MVP? And they have now proven that they can create an event, put the hype behind it, and bring all of the stars out for it and have people spending a ton of money.
And Netflix is doing it. I have no qualms about Netflix's presentation with their sports, nor about their presentation with and their live streaming. I guess they still stream, WWE every week. I don't watch it, but they have the repetition and they know how many people are going to be doing it. And let's also be honest here too. They also know that they have a subscriber base that they can allocate the bandwidth to hopefully not crash all the servers like normally happens during these big matches. But at least Netflix has the data centers and the bandwidth now to host such a large event. Even ESPN Plus has had issues with their pay-per-views with UFC and with the other, I think that's the only one that had them on there. But yeah, there's always been something, and there's always going to be a challenge whenever there's a live stream. But Netflix has got it down a lot better than these other streaming platforms do. If you had put, remember how we were talking about with when we were talking about with the Super Bowl and how it should have been on Tubi, right? Do you think Tubi would have had enough bandwidth, or do you think the people who run Tubi would have allocated enough bandwidth and server and resources so that the whole thing can be streamed live off of the Tubi app?
No. I don't think that they're scaled for it.
Correct. But Netflix is scaled for it. So hats off to them. I also like their presentation. Their presentation doesn't seem cheap. And I will be as blunt as I can. I am a huge Mauro Ranallo fan. And if Mauro Ranallo is calling any match, whether it be a UFC match, a boxing match, a wrestling match, you are going to hear one of the best do it that is currently broadcasting those, and they have Mauro Ranallo, and you know who that guy is, right? Yeah, Mauro, Mamma Mia! That I love that dude. I love his enthusiasm. I think that he is actually better than the one that does with Joe Rogan. Who the hell's that one? Albert, whichever one it is. Whoever broadcasts with Joe Rogan on USB. I think Mauro is by far the best play-by-play announcer, and I will listen to him talk as a draw for me. That's my own opinion.
Got a comment that says, I wager a win on a standing game, leaning towards Gina on my side. I also bet I'm going to put money on it too. I'm going to get to the casino. I'm going to see what the odds are on it, and I'm going to make a small wager. I don't bet big. I have a, speaking of gambling, let me keep this on the screen here. I gamble. Mm-hmm. I also have a budget. In my budget, I have a set aside amount each month for gambling, right? Whether I spend that money, it doesn't matter. I don't allocate and move over if there's a surplus or whatever. But if you are going to gamble responsibly, and may the odds be in your favor. Tickets for this event can be found on Ticketmaster. They go on sale March the 5th. If you want to get in on a pre-sale and you go to mostvaluablepromotions.com/Rousey Carino, you can get in and put in for a pre-sale request that goes on Wednesday, March the 4th from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. Pacific time. Now, a word to the wise. Anybody that's looking out there to see if you can buy the tickets now, there are resale marketplaces that are advertising that you can get the tickets now. I would not trust those.
No.
Ticketcenter.com has it right now where you can go and you can find a spot and see what's tickets from $1,000, or the cheap seats are selling for $320 something.
Yeah.
But they say right there, we are a resale ticket marketplace, not the ticket seller. Prices are set by third-party sellers and may be above or below face value. I would not use those. I would go through MVP or, like the website says right here, Ticketmaster to secure your seat. If I was near Intuit Dome in Inglewood, California, and let's say the tickets weren't outrageous, if I could go where my total expenditures for just like the regular seats, like I'm nobody special. I don't need MVP stuff. And even if I had the money, yeah, I would spend it. Let me just correct myself on that. But if I could go and get there and keep everything under $600, and that's tickets, parking, and vending, food and drinks, that might be a good time just for the networking opportunity, who you might see, and just for the experience. But outside of that,
I want to bring up, and I get you on that, buddy. It would be a great thing, especially for us to go out there and see, see the sights of the people. But
as media, as media.
I want to bring something up though. It's at the Intuit Dome, right?
Yep.
So it's kind of funny. Just saying, it's kind of funny that the Staples Center has now no longer become the marquee place for events in Los Angeles. All right. Okay. In fact, I would argue that they are number 3 in events in the state of Los Angeles. And the Staples Center used to be if you had anything in Los Angeles, it was at the Staples Center. Okay. With the exception of the Olympics, because that's always at the Memorial. But the freaking Intuit Dome and this, with the fact that they, that was privately made by the owner of the Clippers, as well as SoFi, they've leaped and bound the crypto.com arena, the Staples Center, whatever you want to call it. The Staples Center is no longer the marquee venue as it was in the past. I find that funny. It's, it was kind of like a Barclays Center was, all of this was so much better, but it never dethroned Madison Square Garden. I mean, people will still rather go to the Garden than go to the Barclays Center, and they'll definitely not go to the UBS Arena out in Long Island. But I'm damned. There are more people that are going to be going to the Intuit Dome in Inglewood than the crypto.com arena. Sign of the times, man.
Sign of the times. Speaking of a sign of the times, be sure to check out our merch at Sharp Shop armywtfmoments.com/products. You can find stuff for yourself, stuff for your lady, stuff for your baby, stuff for your cars, mugs. I have ordered my WTF Nation Radio mug that I will be having on instead of this King and Me show, which plays Monday here at WTF Nation Radio. So be sure to check out.
Oh, it does.
Army.
You get questions from people on the air too, right?
Yep.
Yeah, look, you got these nice stickers up there. Wait, what is that? What does that mug say? Is that King?
Yep, this is the King and Me show, which is also the King and Me hoodie that I'm wearing. You won't find that on Shop Army. WTFmoments.com. But all of the things that you see there that Coach is displaying can be found at shoparmywtfmoments.com/products. Link is in the description as well as in the chat below. Now,
hey, can I bring something up real quick?
I want to see other shows do that. Go ahead and bring it up, Coach.
I do want to see the other shows do that. But speaking of other shows, I did kind of find that funny that as soon as I asked that question, Michelle said, yeah, you should break up with your partner, not knowing it was you I was talking about.
Oh, on Monday. Yes. Yes. Yep. Man, the timing on that was hilarious.
Oh God, yeah.
I was like, come on, babe.
That was funny. That was funny. I'm like, Michelle, and I knew she didn't know what the heck we were talking about, but my God. As soon as she said that, I was like, yeah, all right, great. King's looking at it, and you looked at her like he's talking about me.
Yep.
Sorry, man. Sorry. It was funny.
Coach, here's a question for you as we bring up the next question here. There's something that's starting to go viral on Twitter because, we're in that sports realm where we do have the Olympics, and we are going to talk about that a little bit later on. But here in the U.S., the major sports, you got football. After football, there's other stuff out there.
There's a steep drop now.
Yes. So there's a question that is going around on X. Would you take $300,000 to not watch football for one entire year? I'm going to put that up on the screen here. Free $300K if you don't watch football for 1 year. Are you going to take the money or are you not? This was a question put up by BR Betting on X, where 104,000 people fairly recently, this is less than about an hour ago, 2 hours ago, have viewed this, and several people have responded. Coach, what are you doing?
Absolutely, I'm taking that money.
Yes.
Oh, yes. As big of a freaking football fan as I am, paying me $300,000 to not watch the fucking Jets. Oh, I'm taking that money.
No football, no highlights.
No, I get that. Let me bring you up something, and this is me. You can call me a hypocrite. You can call me what you like, but I'm pretty sure you can see, and through our conversations, that the one thing I despise the most are politicians.
Mm-hmm.
I hate politics.
Yep.
I hate politics. I hate people like Jamel Hill and others that freaking Sarah Spain that immediately bring up racism, sexism, politics, etc. about sports. Okay, every single one of them should go either get laid or get fucked or get the fuck out of my face. So that being said, I actually put it out 1 year, and this was the year that everybody was kneeling. I said I was not going to watch the NFL if the kneeling was going to continue. And I think it was the year that I can't even remember the year, to be honest with you. But whatever year it was, that it immediately started off with players kneeling at the beginning of the year, I stopped watching. I think it might have been the 2016, 2017 season.
It was the 2016 year, according to AI.
Yeah. So the 2016, 2017 season, I missed that entire season. I did not watch it. Now, also, I will admit that at that time, I had just retired from the military. I was going to college and I was working at a homeless mission. So I had a lot of time. And I watched baseball. I watched basketball, watched hockey. Didn't watch college football because, well, University of Hawaii is my team and I really didn't have to report on it. Okay. But when it came to the NFL, I stopped. And I remember that 2017 season, I said I would give it a shot again if I did not see anybody taking a knee. Now, I didn't have a problem with people taking a knee. I didn't have a problem with the knee thing as long as it was with the team. Like for me, I saw it best when Jerry Jones came out with the Cowboys and took a whole knee with the team. That was showing that they were taking a knee to support one another and with a cause for everybody. The individual players that were taking a knee were doing it out of selfish reasons. And I was not going to allow their selfish reasons to do that. There was another guy in Pittsburgh, one of the Villanueva, I think was his name. He was an O lineman, but he was also a former Army Ranger. And everybody went out. So he was the only one that went out for the national anthem, and he stood there and he, put his hand on his heart while everybody else was outside. I thought that was a great freaking thing, but at the same time, too, it was also an individual act. I was tired of that individual act, especially putting your own personal beliefs out with, just by yourself. Mm-hmm. To be brought up by yourself, because damn well that the stupid cameraman would have went out and saw you doing it.
Yeah.
And by the way, to those that still say that Colin Kaepernick was blackballed out of the NFL, it had nothing to do with his 4-12 record the year before and throwing 17 interceptions to like 4 touchdowns and losing his entire cool after that. That's why he was terrible. It had nothing to do with him kneeling. Him kneeling came at the same time that he wasn't performing, and it made it a lot easier for him never to be signed as a quarterback again. I would have look at fucking Tim Tebow. Tim Tebow never got a chance to freaking be a quarterback again after that freaking Hail Tebow that he had over in Denver that year. All right. They already got Peyton Manning the next season, and then he went to the Jets, and then he went to a couple other places, and he never played quarterback again. He was terrible. Same thing happened to freaking Colin Kaepernick. All right. But because of the freaking stupid, political media, Colin Kaepernick's name kept coming up left and right between Jamel Hill and Rush Limbaugh. And anytime a quarterback got pulled down, hey, why aren't you signing Colin Kaepernick, you racist white owners? No, fuck off. I wasn't dealing with that shit. So I took off and I wasn't going to watch it. $300,000 to do that. I could freaking be happy. And then, well, when the next season comes about, I will watch it on a 100-inch television.
All right. So college football, Canadian football, high school football, mm-hmm. highlights, NFL, you're none of it.
Yeah, I can do that for 300,000.
Okay, what's the threshold?
Now, I will say that because of what we do online and our show, it's going to be fucking impossible. Okay.
Could you do it for 2 years?
2 years?
And it's paid like half and half. You get half of the first.
What, 150 and 150?
And it's taxed.
Fuck no. Fuck your tax. Taxation's theft.
So I have my answer. For
Okay.
300,000 to not watch football, I could go up to a maximum of 3 years.
3 years.
3 years, and even if you take taxes out of it, I've already done the math. I'd be sitting at around 210 living in the state of Maryland. So that's about 70,000 a year over 3 years to not watch football. I could do that. Past that, if you say, all right, King, 4 years, 300K, I'm going to turn it down.
See, now we're playing what ifs on this one. The question was,
So now, now I'm putting some what ifs. I'm adding some interesting wrinkles to it.
All right.
And I'm just curious, how long could you go?
Give me 3 years and I'll go 500,000. And here's my reasoning why. For 3 years, you have to be proactive in the part where, hear me out on this. What do you listen to on the? What do you listen to in your car?
I listen to YouTube music or YouTube podcasts.
Okay. Any other sports podcasts?
No sports podcast. If I'm doing anything sports related, it's Inside the NBA with Shaq and them.
Okay. All right. I get that. I will mention that I am a massive sports fan. Okay. Obviously. I mean, they don't call me the coach for no fucking reason. Okay. But there's the proactiveness. Like, I don't watch wrestling anymore, yet I always end up seeing something every once in a while. And I'm like, okay, well, that's there. Okay, I'll give you a great one. I don't watch pornography, right? I don't. But for some fucking reason, I always end up seeing these damn Facebook reels of some, girl who's fucking promoting her OnlyFans. Now, we can have our little discussion of whether or not that's pornography, but it's a naked chick. All right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't see it on there. I don't subscribe to it. I don't do it, but it accidentally comes up or it just randomly shows up on shit when I'm not expecting to. If you're telling me that for more than 1 year, I would have to proactively not listen to any sports radio, not watch ESPN, not watch, not do our show. All right.
The question, do halftime shows count? I would say yes. It would.
Yeah. All NFL we're talking about. We as a freaking nation have NFL so ingrained with us that accidentally you're going to see something with the NFL. Okay? You're going to see it regardless of it. I could be in a freaking, you know what? That's great. I'm going to the Atlanta airport. What am I going to do? Go around on blinders when I'm going past all the bars that are playing, that have ESPN and CNN and all of the other cable channels on there for all the other patrons? I'm going to have to not look at it. That is going to be physically impossible for more than a year to do that, because that's going to take a hell of a lot more harder work than what you're trying to give it up there. If we're talking zero football. Let me ask you something. Do you watch soccer?
No.
Over the past year, how often have you seen something about soccer?
Enough because I keep up with sports news. Okay. Yeah, I'd say maybe a dozen.
All right. So there we go. I'm bringing that up. Here's the even better one. I have zero interest in the fucking WNBA. Zero interest. Okay. Yet, no matter what area of sports I'm going to go on to, somewhere down that line, I am eventually going to see something from the WNBA. I might just see Angel Reese, part 47. Let's get it. Bang! I might see that. I might see a highlight out of there. It is going to be a lot harder than you think to stay away from all football, especially for over a year time period. Just saying. It's going to be very hard to do that. So I would do it for $300,000, but going over a year time period, you're now asking me to do something and to get rid of the other changes. And I am proactively not going to be watching the stuff that I enjoy because I am on this money thing where I can't watch football.
Okay.
Yeah.
Shout out.
Yeah, you're gonna be messing up other things that other people enjoy just if you can't get rid of football.
That's true too. Ton said, "Well, shit. What about commercials during the Super Bowl? That counts as well. Can't watch it." Now we got Captain Wayne Baconator in the building. Said, "My brother-in-law needs an ass whooping, but hello to us, and that he'll be okay, but he's locked up." His brother-in-law is dumber than buying a bag full of hammers and one nail. What did he do? If you don't mind sharing that, Captain Wayne Baconator Adgerton, I'm curious what your brother did, if you are allowed to say it. But to wrap this up, in the comments,
he tried to get ice. He tried to get ice out of a kid's shirt.
Dang. There's a comment on X, and it's the second one. I promise I didn't go looking for this, but it was right here as a 37 minutes ago. Somebody wrote, "I'm a Jets fan. I'm better off not watching football and taking the money." And I'm going to give.
There we go. Rest my case, ladies and gentlemen.
Let's see. Here we go. There's another comment here. Take the money. No college football, no NFL. There are other sports to watch at that time. You got the holiday season during the NFL season to be distracted. The only challenge would be the Super Bowl.
No, the Super Bowl wouldn't be a challenge. I will say this as part of the Super Bowl. I nearly missed the second half of the Super Bowl because I was working. I would program something so that I am working that day. And I would guarantee you there would be people who do not watch football and don't care about sports that would be out at that time doing what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Because those people do exist. They're very few and far in between.
All right. We got a comment here by station manager himself, Michael Catasquillo. He said, "Hey, King, have you ever beat somebody so bad in Madden that they quit the league?" That was a setup because yes, I did. Michael Carasquillo and I have been for about the last couple of seasons here, maybe 5, 6, 7 years. We've done an online Madden league, and we've had somebody that has been in it with us as well. We like to play a certain way, and we say, "Hey, here's how we play. If you agree to these rules or these set of ways to try to keep the leagues fair and balanced, then you can join us." Well, we've gone, I think, over 13 seasons in this Madden online league between 3 people. I have the least amount of championships won, actually. I've only won 2. I just won my second recent one after like 12 years in this league. And CQ's got about 5 of them. I think he has the most. And the other guy had about 4 or so, 3 or 4, somewhere around there. But he recently just quit the league. Now, I'm making it sound as though I beat him and that's why he quit. Now, there were some things that didn't necessarily work out in his way, and in my opinion, if he sees this, because he might watch my show, the writing was on the wall because he mismanaged all of his teams grossly bad. He was doing a lot of cap space stuff to like win now, but not have things set up in the future. And while I'm talking about this, actually, maybe for this upcoming NCAA football season or the upcoming Madden release for this year, maybe that's something that will add to our mix. we'll have a WTF Nation Radio Madden League. So if you have the game and you're on Xbox, because we play on Xbox, I don't think it's cross-platform, and you want to play in our league, we'll open it up, create it, and we'll get this thing going as long as y'all want to make it run. Like I said, me and CQ, we're 12, 13 years into an online dynasty, and we usually go until about a month before the next Madden release. So if that's something that y'all are interested in, let us know. Put it in the comment section. Send me an email at king@wtfnationradio.com. As we get more towards the next Madden release, we'll talk about it. And I'm pretty sure CQ would be okay with being a part of something like that. Coach, I don't think you're a gamer, but if you were,
no, sorry.
All right. But yes.
No, look, I am a gamer, but I am very specific about what I play. Like, all right, so the gaming thing, I am a retro gamer. Mm-hmm. Truthfully, I am. And I have on my tower that's being worked on right now, I have downloaded a Zelda randomizer so that Zelda 1, the original game, you can randomize almost everything. Like, you know, if you pick up a rupee, it actually speeds you up in the game. Nice. You know, the locations of all the dungeons and all the levels are changed. There's different, you know, people that are out there. I do those types of things. I will play, you know, Zelda 64 to see how fast I can 100%. I will speed game the older games. I will go on the Switch and I will play those old ass games over and over and over again. And even Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, I would play those on Zelda. But no, when it comes to like Madden and, you know, baseball and the basketball and all, no. I stick to the old school. I am a Nintendo head, to say the least. But no, I do not do that stuff. Like, you know, I think the last time I played any type of action game was Halo 3. And that was only because I was in Cuba and I just had my ankle surgery and I had nothing else better to do.
Captain Wayne Baconator said, Duck Hunt is the bomb diggity, yo. I have it hooked up right now. Yo, I haven't played Duck Hunt. No, actually, I played Duck Hunt about a year ago when I went to this thing called BlurredCon down in DC 2 years ago. They had like several gaming stations set up. You could do retro stuff, you could do current gen stuff, and one of the most popular stations,
I'm old school, brother,
where people playing NES games with stuff like Mario World 2 or Mario Bros 2, Zelda. You got
I'm old school, man.
Way to go.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, CQ, you're right. Is code for I'm super old. You're right. I have not grown out of it. I still love the old games.
Hey, we got a third. Ton said, I don't play Madden or know anything about sports, but I'll learn just to talk. Yo, Ton, we play often, and we love that. You know, that'd be something that if we could build this up, that'd be dope. Yeah. So if you're interested, we are on the Xbox.
I will say one thing, man.
If y'all are Xbox gamers out there, I know that Nemo's the guy who does gaming. I also game as well. K Smith Gaming is my Xbox gamer tag. Look me up, send me your friend request. If I'm on the Xbox, I'm playing Dead by Daylight, Call of Duty, Battlefield 6, or Madden.
Yeah, I also have one other game that I play, and not a lot of people call this gaming, but I will tell you, I have more fun doing this than I do any of the other types of games. Pinball. Love pinball.
Really?
Man. I love pinball. If there was nothing but pinball machines for me to play, I would be in absolute heaven. I love pinball, man.
Do you have a pinball arcade down near you?
So, no, but where I work and in the.
All right. Oh, hold on. All right, coach.
Oh,
you said where I work, and that was the last thing.
Okay. So I have areas that I work in, and in those areas, there are 2 separate pinball museums, and I go to visit them anytime I get the chance to do that. One of them in Asheville, the other one in South Carolina. And I will go there anytime just so that I can see them, man. And I'll play them all damn day. I love pinball, man.
Where me and Michelle met, they still have it here, but they changed location. One of our first, it wasn't a date, we're gonna call it an outing, was at this place called Spinners. And Spinners is an old-fashioned arcade pinball place. You pay one fee and you get in. They had all of the different pinball stuff that was there, retro and new. They had old school games as well that you could play to your heart's delight. They moved locations since where her and I first met at, but yeah, there is one here in the city that I live in. So if you ever come up here, man, maybe me, you, CQ can all go out, because he said I could beat your ass in pinball, coach.
Hey,
pinball is the shit.
Hey, pinball is the shit, but I'm going to say this right here about what CQ said. If you noticed, he's also missing an L, just like how he's missing something else. There's 2 L's in pinball, just like how I have 2 middle fingers.
Yep, but spinnerspinball.org here in Frederick.
Awesome, man.
Is a pretty dope place. I've been there a couple of times. Yeah. Like I said, Michelle and I, that was our first. Again, it wasn't a date; it was an outing, but that's where her and I first met.
And I will say that there is a grail video game that I played. I played twice when I was a kid, and then I found a place here in North Carolina that has it, but I haven't been back to it because, well, it's just a bad, not that great of a place. But if you ever see a baby Pac-Man machine, you'll see that it is a combination Pac-Man game and pinball machine. I kid you not. It is the holy grail of the pinball machines. You play the game, and then you have to take you take baby Pac-Man. Somehow you have to wait for like this tube to open up down on the bottom of the Pac-Man screen. And when you go through the tube, it releases a ball, and then you're able to play pinball on the actual thing. Once you're done with that, you end up going back up to the screen, which is like right up here on this level, and then you're playing Pac-Man again, man. It is awesome.
Nice. I don't think I've ever seen it, but now if I'm out, I'll look for it. We got Captain Wayne said, I wish I had that pinball machine. The Addams family pinball was the bomb at his
old yeah.
And pinball is how you learn to be a Jedi or a wizard. I like that. I like that. And CQ said, as we learned on Pop Culture Warrior, Coach is a closeted nerd. You did great as his co-host the other day. So much so I was like, well, dang. I think that Mad Mike might have to worry about his place as the co-host on Pop Culture.
No. Are you kidding me? I'm not leaving you anytime soon, buddy.
All right. Now
you're stuck with me forever.
Yes. We had a video that was sent to us by a viewer, and this was a high school game in which one team was down 56-63 with under 22 seconds left, and somehow they came out and won the game, and it changed just like that. So let's bring this up here and take a look at this video. And this is what all coaches need to show their teams when they want to talk about grit and hustle. hit a 3, stole the inbound pass, hit a 2, got another steal, wasted time so that they could get the final shot, passed, shot up a 3, and won by 1 freaking point. How awesome is that? This right here, this is where when you're in the locker room, you know that in the locker room afterwards, the coach that won used this to talk about grit and determination and hustle, because it is not a 0 in probability, but it is like 2.3% that if you're down 7 with the ball, that you are the team that is going to come back and win. So for that team to do what they did without taking any timeouts and get those turnovers to win the game, we want to give a salute as they understood the assignment. Coach, have you seen anything like that in person? I have one time.
In person?
Well,
no, hold on.
I didn't hear an echo on my side.
I'm echoing on that side.
Yeah, it's not coming out for me, so the viewers won't hear it, but I can imagine how.
Okay, it's like a delay in that echo.
Okay. All right, so while he does that, I have one more video to queue up here. And look, viewer discretion is advised on this one. NCAA baseball, it's out, it's happening. There's games going on right now. The other day, there was an injury so bad on something that should have been a spectacular walk-off grand slam. It did not occur that way because while rounding the bases and celebrating, the person that got the hit ended up tearing his leg in the most gruesome way possible. So I'm going to say viewer discretion is advised. So for the next 2 seconds, if you don't like to see gruesome injuries, not 2 seconds, but 2 minutes, do not watch. But take a look at this injury by a Seton Hall player.
Dill has left the building. And he has given Seton Hall
but he
a 2-run lead, but he has gotten injured.
Now, you didn't see the injury initially because they didn't have the cameras on them, but they are going to come back. So viewer discretion is advised. Take a look at what happened.
Score.
It's like, how did you get to where you get injured after hitting a grand slam?
Then it'll be a tie game.
Oh, no.
Oh, poor Aiden Dill.
No. So it wasn't Aiden Dill.
Oh, my goodness.
They end up having the wrong name.
Around. Let's see what happened here.
Oh, my goodness. I said Aiden Dill, but it was Justin Ford. 9.
Man.
Is this one?
Injuries.
Oh, my goodness.
You are not supposed to have injury. I'm gonna pause it before it. Right there. So he jumps in the air. He's looking back at his team. Why is my mic muted? The host has muted your mic. Y'all should be able to hear me. It's looking like
I hear you.
Okay. Yes, it is on my side.
Can you hear me?
Mic, but it's looking like I'm good to go.
Oh, okay. I think the echo from your end.
Weird. Okay. If there's an echo coming from my end, then let me change my microphone. How about now? Is this better?
Yeah, that's better. No, I think I'm echoing from yours because this looks like that when your screen share is as well.
Okay, you know what? That's probably what it is. So if I were to take this off and click, let me stop screen share. Stop sharing. All right, how about now?
No, I got no echo.
Okay, so
that's what it was, man. It was the screen share. Okay.
All right, so it's the screen share. So I'd have to figure out how to route the audio. That's a technical thing that I could work at on my side. But yeah, so guy gets injured, rounding bases. A straight up freak accident. I'm going to share the screen this time, but without system audio because that's what it was. It was picking up the system audio. So
Okay.
y'all are gonna see it right here. He goes, he jumps, and then boom.
We both said this in the chat when we saw this. We've never seen a foot bend that way. Normally when something like that happens, it's the invert, not an outvert like that. So yeah, that is. You know what? I'm going to bring something up. Yeah, I don't know how the hell that snapped in half either, but I want to bring something up about that particular stadium that you got right now.
Okay.
That stadium was a place where the Major League Baseball used to use for baseball games.
Mhm.
When I think it might have been 2005, 2006, when the Montreal Expos were having issues with their stadium and were in the process of moving down to Washington to become the Nationals. They spent like a third of their season in Puerto Rico. And I believe this is the actual stadium that they had that they were playing at. And from my understanding, it is also one of the hardest stadiums to be on. If you look at the grass, that isn't grass. That's like turf. And my understanding is the dirt that they're playing on is kind of like hardened rock that they're playing on underneath there. It's almost as bad as concrete. So to see something like that again.
All right, I'm done playing it.
Yeah. Let's stop that. I'm not saying that they shouldn't be playing a game there, but they shouldn't be playing a game there. I also am, in a way kind of put into an awkward position because you're telling me that I need to go ahead and feel bad for somebody from Seton Hall after my brother who played for St. John's baseball beat the shit out of him all 4 years that he was there.
Nice.
And I know people who have went there. Yeah, I feel a little bad for him, but it's still a Seton Hall player. Sorry.
Now, reps did come out and say that Justin Ford is in good spirits as of this past Saturday, but otherwise had no updates on his status. Now, because he could not finish and round, they did not count the 2-run homer. They only were able to get 1 run in from that. But alas, it didn't matter. Boston College eventually won anyway, and won to the tune of 6-4 over Seton Hall. So that now, 1 run,
it's my understanding,
that was it.
If it's my understanding, I believe, and this should be on the rule book. If it didn't happen this way, then I'm full of shit. But at least, from my understanding, that home run went down as a single, as he only touched first base. And then after he went to as a single, I believe in order to get him out of the game, they had to put in a pinch runner in for him. And that pinch runner was set at first base. And even though it was technically a home run, it actually went down as a single. The only reason why I say that is because, not sure if you remember this, but there was in the 1998 or 99, the 99 playoffs, Robin Ventura hit a walk-off grand slam to win the game for the Mets. And instead of rounding the bases, the team mobbed him on first base. So only people that scored were the ones that, were able to come in right before the end of the game. And like all 4 runs didn't score. It was only the 1 run that, happened before the game. The play was basically waved dead because everybody interfering with the runner. So I want to say that that's what happened to him after that. But yeah, I still feel that's a terrible fucking injury, man.
Yep. So looking at the rule here, per rule 6-1A, a home run becomes a dead ball where runners can advance. A substitution can be made anytime during a dead ball. The substitute can then finish out the home run trot for the injured player per Rule 5-5C. The player who hit the home run does not need to be the one to touch all 4 bases. Thus,
holy shit! You know who that happened to?
Who's that?
Babe Ruth. Okay, let me give you this is an old rule, and thank you. Wow, thank you for giving me that one. This is a very old rule, and has actually happened with Babe Ruth. So, do you know what team Babe Ruth finished his career with?
I do not.
He finished his career with the Boston Braves, who ended up becoming the Milwaukee Braves, who now in turn are the Atlanta Braves. But he played for the Boston Braves in his final season. And towards the end of his career, he was, he didn't take care of himself, and he is a shell of his former thing, but he still had some power and still was Babe Ruth, so he had some draw for it. It had gotten to the point where if Babe had hit a home run, he would run down to first base, and there would be a designated runner on first base that would run around the field for him to score whatever run was, and then Babe would be pulled from the game. Yep, that's happened before. I remember hearing something about that towards the end of his career. And I want to say, don't quote me on this. I don't think it ever came down to this, but at the end of Mark McGwire's career in 2001, there were a lot of times where if they were playing in an away team, Mark McGwire would be like listed as he was battling like major knee injuries and other issues. He would be listed as like a second baseman, bat third, and if he hit a home run, like he would end up being pulled out of the game. Now, I don't know if somebody had ran the bases for him, but it was still Mark McGwire swinging the bat, which, he had a 1 in 5 chance of hitting contact and clearing the fence. So.
Now, so I did look this up, and I was curious if this had happened in NCAA in the past or in the pros. I asked AI specifically around injuries.
Yeah.
But the 5 instances that it brought up, it talked about Mark McGwire in 98, while that at one point he missed first base while celebrating. Excuse me. He realized it, and
that was his 62nd home run. He went back and touched first.
Yep, and touched it before he reached second. Had he not done that, he would have lost the record-breaking homer because he didn't advance according to rules properly. Lou Gehrig in 1931 passed a base runner who had stopped to look at the ball in the game. Lou Gehrig was called out and credited with a triple instead of the home run, which cost him the home run title that year. And then Robin Ventura in 1999 hit a walk-off grand slam to win Game 5 for the Mets. But his teammates mobbed him between first and second base. He never touched second, third, or home. So under MLB rules, it was ruled a single, not a grand slam. But the run scored, and the Mets still won.
Yeah.
All right. Now,
damn, I'm full of useless baseball knowledge. I had 2 of the 3 right.
Captain Wayne Baker there said, I bet I could still rip a homer. I'm not going to doubt that, and here's why. I'm 41 years old. I know one guy that played high school, and he played he played in college for 3 years. He plays softball in a social league, and that guy slaps everything he hits. He says that for him, because it's a much slower game for him, that it's like child's play for him. It's almost unfair because every team that he plays on wins, because every time he's at bat, he will get you several runs if the batters in front of him are on a plate. So I don't doubt that you can still rip a homer. Apparently, to some people, that's just like muscle memory and science.
It is. Sorry, dude, my fucking legs are killing me. So standing up all night, I'm taking seats in between. So.
Hey, you know what? It's all good. We're actually running longer than what I anticipated. So we're going to round out our show with this. The Winter Olympics is happening now. There's been a couple of things that have came out there, such as Ariana Fontana's 12th medal. And there was a tribute that was paid out for her. So salute to Miss Fontana and her historic records. There is a person that's taking the Winter Olympics by storm by the name of Michaela Schifrin. She got out there and won a gold in the Slalom gold just today, actually. So salute to her. There were some wind and snow delays that occurred during the snowboard slope style event. I haven't seen any updates on that since I pulled it up right before, but the weather has impacted the Winter Olympics. And that's all that we're going to cover for the Olympics for now.
There's a lot of events out there. We got one thing. Yes. I want to go ahead and bring it out to the women bobsledders of the Jamaican bobsled team for their highest place in the Winter Olympics at 14th.
Hey,
some people say, they can't believe Jamaica, we got a bobsled team. Oh, yeah. Feel the rhythm, feel the rhyme. Get on up. It's bobsled time. Go Reddings.
If we are looking at the overall medal leaders right now, Norway is in the lead with 33 and the most gold medals. Italy at 26 with 9 gold medals. And the USA with 24 and 7 gold medals. Now, dominating the athletes as well is Norway, where they have one guy who has won 5 gold medals in all of the events that he has competed in. So salute to them.
Yeah. Hey, Mike, you're right. King Smithburg did just say shalom.
Did I pronounce it right or did I say it wrong?
Yeah, you said it right. It's shalom.
Okay.
And look, even though some people here see my nose, I am not Jewish. Okay, let's put that.
It looks like it. There's a quote by Kanye. I wish I had the Kanye West soundbite where he's like, "I did not just say that." One more thing here. This went live right before we went live. The Seattle Seahawks are officially up for sale. The Paul Allen estate has announced that the Seattle Seahawks are putting the team up for sale as of today, and they did it through a public announcement. The estate of Paul G. Allen today announced it has commenced a formal sale process for the Seattle Seahawks NFL franchise, consistent with Allen's directive to eventually sell his sports holdings and direct all estate proceeds to philanthropy. The estate has selected philanthropy. Roll Tide. The estate has selected investment bank Allen and Company and law firm Latham and Watkins to lead the sales process, which is estimated to continue through the 2026 offseason. NFL owners must then ratify a final purchase agreement. Wow. Hey, you know what? What a better way to go and increase the value. I'm curious where they were ranked. Let me see let me go to the Googles here. And see what is the estimated value of the Seahawks franchise.
They're at least $7 billion.
And where?
Oh, and on top of that too, he also owned the Portland Trailblazers too, so they're also up for sale as well.
Wow! As of early 2026, it is estimated that the Seahawks franchise are worth approximately $6.59 to $6.7 billion, but following their most recent success, experts anticipate that the sale price could exceed $7 billion. And in the NFL, they are ranked number 14, according to Forbes.
You know, it comes with Lumen Field, and Lumen Field is, you know, a phenomenal football stadium. You know, and I applaud the Allen family for, you know, having having all the proceeds going to
philanthropy.
What you call it?
You can't even say it as improper as I said it.
Right.
Philanthropy.
All right. Yes, and it's philanthropy. That's where it's coming from. It's going to charity. Okay, so it, you know, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, you know how like after you know, Bill dies, he's putting all of his money to Microsoft into that. That's the same exact thing. And I'm glad that the Allen family is at least doing that. Now, of course, just don't donate it to like the Clinton Foundation and have them use it for, you know, freaking weddings in Haiti or something like that. But yeah.
Man, so according to DraftKings, and I'm going to put this up on the screen here, the Seahawks were last sold in 1997 for $194 million.
Yep. Ooh, and I got a story about that one. I'm not sure if you remember this, but there was at that time rumors that the Seahawks would have moved to Los Angeles, which had just recently lost the Rams and the Raiders. There was at that time of that sale, there was talk that because of the previous owners were planning on were exploring moving the team down to LA. And then Paul Allen came in, you know, and bought the team after that. And yeah, that is a phenomenal investment or return on investment that they've gotten for that team.
And I don't care what y'all say, it's philanthropy, damn it.
Philanthropic. That's what it is.
Now, the last thing that I want to highlight here, and we'll close with this, Coach. I wanted to skip it, but I think we should talk about it. Did you hear what happened in Major League Baseball with the Major League Baseball Players Association head?
With Tony Clark? Yes, I did. Yes.
Yeah. I was like, scandalous.
Yeah. And it's at the terrible time for them too.
Man, so I'm sharing my screen here, but Major League Baseball Players Association Executive Director Tony Clark, who is this man on the left with that nice white beard, resigned Tuesday after an internal investigation revealed an inappropriate relationship with his sister-in-law, who was hired by the union in 2023. I don't even call that nepotism. That's that's next level nepotism right there. He was getting it in and then hired the young lady to come in and got her job and you know, tried to get some benefits out the way. But here's my thing. So during the union's internal inquiry, which came to light to include a wide range and still open in a federal investigation into their finances and other alleged improprieties, to include the nepotism, the relationship between Clark and the woman came to light, which prompted him to step down after more than a dozen years as the union's leader. Y'all, what's done in the dark will come to light, and these relationships are out here knocking people from having some fantastic opportunities, income, access, and all this other things. And it's one of those things that I will never understand it. I will never understand how peace leave is one of the number one killers of certain men's opportunities.
Yeah. Oh, and thank God we're not talking about the Michigan coach today either. But now I want to bring up something real quick regarding Tony Clark. So Tony Clark has been around the game for forever. He used to play for the Detroit Tigers. He was on the Yankees for a season or two. But he has been around baseball for multiple years and has been like the player's player for quite a while. Him leaving at this time is, I'm going to say it is detrimental to Major League Baseball in their soon to be, well, hopefully not nuclear labor disputes that they're going to be having with their owners.
Yep.
And the familiarity that they have that Tony Clark brought to the negotiating table, we could see that there was some type of good faith. Tony Clark was a player. Tony Clark knows about what the players want, what the players needed. And Tony Clark also knows and about the history of the game. He had a vested interest in the game. Now, the person who not only has been on the side of the has been one of the people that they've talked about taking his place is a lawyer who has held I believe negotiated with the NBA as well as other sports leagues to try to get the players their best deal. I can't remember the guy's name right now, but he is basically an absolute bulldog and will try the hardest that he can to screw the owners over. That is not going to bode well for anybody who is a fan of Major League Baseball because, well, this guy would have no problem trying to cancel the season to get the players what they want. And what the players want is zero salary cap. Now, we've talked about that before, about how the NFL or about how Major League Baseball is got ridiculous freaking contracts, how the Dodgers are not only spending more money than, the other contenders, they have spent more money in luxury tax than 4 Major League Baseball teams did on their entire salaries for their players. The bottom 6 or 7 teams in the league, total combined playoff rosters, still do not equal the amount that the LA Dodgers are paying for their team this season. It's like $500 something million right now, or something ridiculous around that. The Dodgers have been running away with this labor dispute, and this has happened underneath, this entire watch. The only thing that is going to stop these labor disputes will be a salary cap. And the Players Association will not have a salary cap. They tried doing it in 1994 and implemented the cap. Thus, why the daggone World Series was canceled that year and the players went on strike on August 2nd. Nobody really remembers the deal that happened in between 1995 and 2002, but there was handshake agreements that led to the New York Yankees being, the dominant team during that time, and they also consequently had the largest payroll at $84 million. It wasn't near $100 million, but they did invest all of their money back into the team underneath the old George Steinbrenner. Then in 2002, there was going to be another labor dispute because of an implementation, and then they finally got a better collective bargaining agreement where the entire, freaking luxury taxes came into it. And then since then, well, the Yankees haven't had, their dominant seasons around there. There's been more parity and other teams winning the World Series instead of just having a whole slew of them. There's been a lot more of other teams that have gotten and have won the World Series. But then came the Dodgers, and the Dodgers just decided to outspend everybody to win the last 2 World Series and will most likely go ahead and do that again. With the disparity that the Dodgers have utilized this, there is going to be no love loss. There is the Dodgers, and then there is every other team. Even the Yankees don't want to compete on that level. Hal Steinbrenner, the current owner of the Yankees, doesn't want to spend as much money as the Dodgers do to win a championship. He is much more concerned about lining his own pockets with profit than he is making the team competitive so that they can win the World Series against the dominant force of the Dodgers. With Tony Clark leaving out of there is coming down to where nothing but lawyers and people who are worried about freaking money, they're going to make the determination. And there is not going to be anything about the purity of baseball and not a single consolation done for this fan. Tony Clark stuck himself in the foot, but the ramifications of Tony Clark leaving are going to echo once the World Series is over at the end of this year and going all the way up until, I'm going to say this, I think within the first couple months of the season. Like right now, pitchers and catchers are reporting. At this time next year, pitchers and catchers won't be reporting because there will either be a lockout or a strike. And Major League Baseball will have a work stoppage for the first time since 1994 at this time next year.
Man, all right. We got Captain Wayne Bacon there to say there's going to be another baseball strike. The general...
Yes. And Captain Wayne did bring something up about baseball players with what they're playing. There is no more middle class in baseball. There is rich, and then there is not rich. And you either have the players who are making less than $1 million, or you have a player who is making above $10 million. There is no in-betweens when it comes to baseball salaries anymore. On top of that, too, there is also no floor for minimum salary that the teams have to pay. That's where the big problem lies in right now. You have a team like Miami who pays $64 million for all 26 members of their team, while, you know, and when you look at that, that's $2 million to $3 million per player on the team, while the damn Dodgers are paying $520 million or $20 million per player on that team. Yeah, there's the haves, the have-nots, but there's also disparities at different levels that are caused by a lot of people. And on top of that, too, it's also caused by these fucking agents like Scott Boras, who have manipulated free agency so bad that there is no excitement to free agency. There are no moves that are being done, and there's no sense of urgency in order to actually make a competitive team.
Coach, this is what his wife looks like. His wife, Frances, right? And man, people on Twitter are already going in. His wife, you know, I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to do that. Nope. But what I am going to do is I'm going to come to Twitter where people are saying Tony Clark has to tell his wife that he got fired from his multi-million-a-year job because he was banging her sister, allegedly. Happy Valentine's Day.
Oh, God.
And this one right here, Tony Clark is out here moving like prime Sharon Maury. Oh, man. Clark's brother is like, hey, man, so where you headed tonight? His wife, I told you, Tony and I are going to the Coldplay concert. Oh, man. All right, y'all. Look.
Yeah.
Let me stop sharing my screen. This has been an interesting episode of the WTF Nation Radio, the sports bar. There was something here about Patrick Mahomes here. It says, I mean, Mahomes gets paid $500 million while being hurt, but even the best baseball players could never see that kind of money. That's
Shohei Ohtani is
crazy.
getting $700 million. Juan Soto's getting $765 million. Aaron Judge is getting $400 million. What's his name? Mike Trout's getting $500 million. Yeah, they are getting that money. Sorry, Captain Wayne, they're getting the money.
I did see too, Captain Wayne Baconator, going, speaking of your Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, Patrick Mahomes, that they are looking at restructuring his contract, but I didn't see what the specifics were before we ended up going live. But they have they have restructured his contract, creating much needed salary cap space. The restructuring, first reported today, converts $54.54 million of his 2026 salary into a signing bonus and lowers the Stars' cap number to $34.65 million. Goodness gracious. Oh, that kind of money for 1 year. 1 year.
Hey, if you're a three-time Super Bowl champion, I'm just saying that's where you get that money.
Hey, you know what? He's earned it. He has absolutely earned it. And his wife, and you can see that money that he's earned on his wife as well.
And his wife also needs the money because she's got to spend that freaking she's got to spend all that time in the freaking the suite with Taylor Swift, who's already a billionaire. Speaking of that, has Travis Kelce announced his retirement yet?
Travis Kelce did not announce his retirement yet,
but he'll be doing that soon enough.
It's coming. There's one more thing, and we could get through this quick because I got something else that I need to follow up here.
It's not like we're going into the time period of the smoke pit.
Yep, that is correct. No smoke pit. It ain't going away, y'all. It is not going away, but
it'll be back.
It will be back. Alabama phenom kind of was a phenom, but he hasn't quite necessarily followed up in his next camp in the most recent campaign. Ryan Williams, 19-year-old football star, just got engaged to his 25-year-old girlfriend and is about to become a stepdad. Oh, man.
Some people will do anything to move out of the barracks.
Nice. When this came out, man, everybody said that the creation of NIL has also created villains in certain people. And this guy apparently has known this lady since he was 17, right? So when he was 17, she was 23-ish. But here he is in a relationship with somebody that already has a kid by somebody else. Everybody that saw this, to include my friends, were like, why would he be in a relationship and become a step dummy when he has an opportunity to focus on his craft, focus on his education, and have the opportunity to create that generational wealth that people with his athletic ability are starting to get? And I don't understand why focusing on this type of relationship is something that this young man would want to do. I don't know who's counseling these people at this age, but it has to stop. Don't play too much of it, you get a zoned.
Hey, yeah,
Coach, just add something to this so that I'm not frustrated.
She take my money, well, I'm in need. Yeah, get down, girl. Go ahead, get down. Oh, God, 18 years, 19 years. Yeah, she's got one of your kids, got you for 19 years. You ain't even got one of her kids. He's going to win a Super Bowl and drive off in a Hyundai.
Man.
Hey, you know what? But this is usually better than seeing other things that are coming out of Alabama, because usually most of the marriage announcements that come out of Alabama are somebody marrying his cousin. Yeah, I had to put that.
I got nothing. There's several people in here Folks said this is the Travis Hunter effect. Somebody else came out on Instagram and said, where are these kids, unks or OGs at? Which that's my point. Who are the people that's counseling these young men on how to move? It's bad, and it's only going to get worse. She's got a tattoo on her finger the same way that Travis Hunter's wife does, which shout out to Travis Hunter. He's a father now. People are, you know what, to Travis and to Ryan, I hope. And I don't like using that word hope. I hope that it works out. I hope that y'all can be the example that can show people that it can work out, that you are not going to get divorced within, what is it? I think it's 6 years of your playing career ending and getting taken for half of the things that you've earned throughout your athletic playing time. I hope it doesn't work that way.
Oh, it's going to happen.
But the odds are not in y'all's favor, man. So, sorry. Good luck. Travis Hunter's wife walked so that this 26-year-old single mom could run. Look, the only person to successfully do it that I could think about was LeBron James. And depending on the certain circles that you run in, some people say that Brian ain't necessarily out moving the way that he's being portrayed. Allegedly. I didn't say it, Goat James. I didn't say it.
I mean, you could also say Patrick Mahomes. He's been with Brittany ever since high school.
There is that one too.
Yeah.
All right. So we got a couple of people that pulled up. Shout out to Corey. Corey said, hello, what do you say? Appreciate you tuning in. Corey said, because she got this thing that men cannot resist. Hey, man, that thing in betwixt them legs. It is cause wars and people to lose half their estate. It is one of the reasons why some of the world's leading women billionaires are now billionaires.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Melinda
and Chris Neismarker said, hey, y'all, what up? I'll probably said your name all kinds of wrong. My bad. I'm also the guy that pronounced philanthropy as philanthropy. So sue me. You had to be here to know that, what that means. All right, y'all, this has been one of the longest episodes of the Sports Bar that we've had, but we covered a lot of things. Be sure to tune in for our next announcement for trivia, as we only run trivia when we have the minimum amount of people required to join. We give away gift cards during our trivia. So if you are not following us to know when we're going to do trivia, you're missing out. So be sure to stay tuned in to all things WTF Nation Radio and the Sports Bar's Facebook page on WTF Nation Radio. Links are in the description. Join our Discord, buy our merch, tune in to all the other shows. Come back tomorrow for Sergeant's Time featuring Ice on Thursday. We do not have FTX this upcoming Friday. Saturday will be weekend co-ops, and then we have the reset featuring newly acquired Dr. J, whose last show was pretty damn good. I think she was a great addition to the WTF Nation Radio's shows, and we look forward to what she has to offer here. All Coach, right. Anything to close us out with?
Captain Wayne Baconator want to put up what the fuck are kids? Sorry, they're fuck trophies. That better for you?
Hey. All right. This has been another live stream of WTF Nation Radio's The Sports Bar. I'm King. That's Coach. And we're going to close out with this video here. Coach?
Hit it, Paulie.
What's the situation on the ground today, right now, in the mall?
Confusion, instability, vacuum at the top.
What caused the decline?
It's just